For centuries, Black women have led the call for justice. From enslavement to today, their voices have shaped a global movement. In 2025, as the African Union takes a historic step toward reparatory justice, their legacy guides us still. This is the story of that legacy, a story of resilience, of courage, of unwavering belief in the promise of repair. It's a story that whispers through generations, carried on the backs and in the hearts of Black women who dared to demand more than just freedom, but healing. Picture this: 1783, the wounds of the American Revolution still fresh. Among the whispers of freedom won and lives lost, a Black woman named Belinda Royal stood tall. Belinda had been enslaved by a loyalist family in Massachusetts. When the British evacuated, they promised freedom to those who joined their side. Belinda, like so many others, took that chance, that leap of faith. She found herself in Nova Scotia, a land promising refuge, a place to rebuild. But freedom, as Belinda would soon learn, often comes with its own set of shackles. Life was hard, resources scarce, and the promised land felt more like a cruel illusion. But Belinda, she didn't back down. She had tasted freedom, and she knew deep in her soul that it was her birthright. So she did something extraordinary. She petitioned the government, a Black woman, formerly enslaved, demanding what was rightfully hers. And you know what? She won. The echoes of Belinda's victory reverberated across the decades, reaching the heart of Callie House. It was the late 1800s, the sting of slavery still raw, a gaping wound across the soul of a nation. Callie, widowed and determined, saw the plight of formerly enslaved people all around her, their lives forever altered by the brutal system of chattel slavery. She knew something had to be done. Callie House, a woman of quiet strength, dared to dream of pensions for the formerly enslaved. She envisioned it as restitution, a way to acknowledge the debt owed. And she wasn't alone. Callie's vision resonated with thousands. She galvanized Black communities, traveling the country, her words a rallying cry. Under her leadership, the Ex-Slave Mutual Relief Bounty and Pension Association was born. Tens of thousands of formerly enslaved people united under a common goal, demanding what was rightfully theirs. The movement grew, gathering momentum, posing a threat to the very fabric of a nation built on the backs of the enslaved. But power, as we know, rarely relinquishes its grip easily. Chapter 3: Queen Mother More, a global movement ignited. The fight for reparations, once ignited, refused to be extinguished. It was carried on the wind, whispered from town to town, passed down through generations like a sacred inheritance. And in the 20th century, that torch landed in the hands of a woman who would become a legend, oddly Queen Mother More. Imagine her, regal, powerful, a Black woman who commanded attention with the fire of 1,000 suns burning in her eyes. Queen Mother More, as she came to be known, understood that the fight for reparations was not just about the past, but about the present. She saw the through line from slavery to the ongoing injustices faced by Black people, the poverty, the police brutality, the systemic disenfranchisement. For Queen Mother More, reparations were not just about righting historical wrongs, they were about dismantling the very structures that perpetuated inequality. She took the movement global, connecting the dots between the African diaspora and the fight for liberation across continents. She stood shoulder to shoulder with Malcolm X, her voice a clarion call for Black empowerment. Deidrea Farmer Pahlman, confronting corporate America. As the 21st century dawned, the fight for reparations took on a new urgency, a laser focus on the institutions that had profited from the enslavement of African people. This was the battleground that Deidrea Farmer Pahlman, a woman of quiet determination and fierce intellect, chose to fight on. Deidrea understood that the tendrils of slavery were deeply embedded in the very fabric of American society. She knew that corporations, banks, insurance companies, many of them still thriving, had built their empires on the backs of enslaved Africans. So, armed with meticulous research and unwavering conviction, Deidrea did something extraordinary. She filed a lawsuit, not against individuals but against corporations, holding them accountable for their role in perpetuating and profiting from one of history's greatest atrocities. Her lawsuit, filed in 2002, sent shockwaves through corporate America, exposing the uncomfortable truth that many of our most revered institutions had their roots in the blood and sweat of enslaved people. Vanuska Sylvester, Reparations Now. The call for reparations, once a whisper, has become a roar in the 21st century. It's a movement fueled by the spirits of those who came before, by the ancestors who whispered their stories of resilience and resistance. It's a movement that I, Vanuska Sylvester, am honored to be a part of. We stand at a pivotal moment, a crossroads in history. The world is waking up to the realities of systemic racism, understanding that the legacy of slavery is a living presence. Reparations are not just about financial compensation, although that is crucial. It's about acknowledging the deep-seated wounds, the intergenerational trauma impacting Black communities. It's about investing in Black futures, in education, healthcare, and economic empowerment. It's about creating a world where Black people can thrive, where our humanity is no longer up for debate. We are building a movement that centers Black women, recognizing the unique ways we have been impacted by oppression. It's a movement rooted in love, healing, and the radical belief that a better world is possible. The time for reparations is now. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. The legacy of Black women who came before us demands it. Our children deserve it. We invite you to learn, organize, and advocate. Subscribe, share, and amplify the call for reparatory justice in your community. Together we can build a future where the sins of the past are acknowledged, where healing can begin, and where justice finally prevails.